Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So I wanted to do a video today on tires, and more specifically winter tires, and even more specific than that, studded tires. Yes, my C63s has a set of Nokian Hakkapeliitta 8s with studded tires. I know you're thinking C63s AMG rear wheel drive studded tires. Well, I don't know if you can tell on the ground, we have a lot of snow. I'm in the forest, and this is where I live. So in this kind of climate, you do need winter tires if you're going to daily drive your sports car, especially a rear-wheel drive one, which I daily drive my C63s, and I'm going to plug it in. There's going to be a video on the review of daily driving a C63s AMG after so many miles. I'm not going to say how many because I don't want to reveal the secret, but it is the highest mileage C63s in the country, verified by a couple dealers. So some people are like, well, you probably lost like half your value, and I'm like, yeah, well, I did, but it was definitely worth it. Anyways, let's get back to the tires. Oh, sorry. So let's get back to the tires, which is the main focus of this video. I wanted winter tires for my car, and I knew I was going to be in this kind of climate where it's just very snowy and very icy. And I wanted the highest performing snow tires, which usually people go for the Blizzaks, or I had previously the Michelin PA4s, I think were the winter tires I had previously, and those did good. I wanted the upper echelon of winter tires, and Nokian are some of the best. Thank you, Finland. And I wanted studs because one, it's outrageous for a car like this to have studded tires, and two, it's going to perform really well in snow and ice. And today, that's what I'm going to show you: the performance, the price, the fitment, and whether or not you need these tires for your wheel-wheel drive sports car. Is it worth it, or should you just keep your car in the garage like a little baby? But let's get with the video. So I think first what I wanted to go over is the pricing of these tires, which surprisingly aren't that expensive compared to my other tires. So my summer tires, which typically run me about 1,800 bucks, are the Michelin Pilot Super Sports, and those are more expensive than these winter tires. And then also my tires I used last year for winter, the Michelin PA4s, I think they were called. I'm gonna have to look that up again, but those were around 1,700 bucks shipped from Canada. These tires, 4 set of Nokian Hakkapeliitta 8s XLs, because the rear tires are very, very wide. Obviously, it's an AMG. They were $1,300 to ship, and then $100 so to get it installed at a Mercedes dealership, which isn't too bad at all comparing to the other tires that I buy. This is definitely worth the price if you can get them for this price. I got them on Discount Tire. I don't know. I mean, I don't think these are fake snow tires. I hope not. Discount Tire, please sponsor me. But yeah, for studded Nokian Hakkapeliitta 8s, that's pretty cheap, and it's definitely worth it at that price point if you can get it for that price. So as many of you know, the rear tires on this car are very wide. They're 285 rear. I mean, compared to Lambos, it's not as wide, but for a daily driving car, 285 is very wide. So being able to find it in this size is actually pretty impressive, especially with studded tires. They're called XLs, so I think they're SUV tires. But anyways, the track on this is very wide, so that's why I had to go with 285s in the rear. And so the fronts are actually 245, which stock wheels on the Michelin. So these tires are actually 245s in the front, even though the stock tires are actually 235 19s. I went with the 245, one, because I couldn't find the 235, and two, actually the 245s are better than the 235s because you have more tire on the ground, so more grip. So it's actually better to go with a wider tire for winter driving. You just got to make sure that it fits your wheel properly, and you don't get the wrong size that's too wide or too small. So now we're gonna actually do some testing on the performance of these tires with stopping and starting, trying to womp it with the gas to see how much grip it gets and to see if it stops in a good amount of time. So far, my experience of having it for a couple thousand miles, it actually works really, really well, especially for stopping. They stop on a dime. And that's one important thing to remember about winter driving. You can have all-wheel drive, but all-wheel drive does not mean you can stop right away. It's important, even with all-wheel drive, to have winter tires. Granted, you might not need studded tires, but winter tires for sure, regardless you have all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive. In these kind of climates where I live, in northwestern PA, you have to have winter tires. So just based off of those 3 stops, man, the grip and the stopping power on this car with snow and ice on the ground is insane for an AMG C63s. That's insane. All right, so next test, we're going to give it the AMG WAP, I like to call it. So I'm just gonna stomp on the gas to see how long it takes for the tires to grip on the surface, just in case you need to escape the Coupes, the Albanian Rozzers, or the Canadian Mounties. So let's get started with the test. All right, everyone, we're gonna go over the sound test on the studded tires. Honestly, I really can't hear anything. It's not loud at all. And my friend George, you see right here, that's George, he told me, he warned me, he said, hey, it's gonna be really loud in there. And honestly, score 1 for Uli, score 0 for George, because I won the argument. It's not loud at all. All right, so on a more serious note, the snow tires with the studs are really not that much louder than the stock Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires. They just they sound the same to me, especially on snow and ice. The snow and ice definitely muffles the sound a lot of the studs, and obviously that there's a layer between the pavement and the actual snow tires, so you know that's expected. Like right now, I'm going over snow. You guys probably can't hear that much road noise, and it kind of just feels nice and soft. And I like it a lot, just it's like so peaceful. But then once you get on the pavement and the concrete and cement, it just gets obnoxious. But like I said, it's very similar to stock tires. So honestly, in terms of sound, if you're worried about sound on the stud, I really wouldn't be like caught up on that, because they don't really sound that loud. When you actually need to use the tires for its purpose, it's actually less loud than the summer tires. So, you know, it's kind of a no-brainer. Other than tearing up the cement and stuff, yeah, it sucks, but you know, it's worth it if you live in this climate. And next segment is gonna be whether or not it's worth it for your car. But if you do have a rear-wheel drive sports car, it's gonna get foggy in here. Oh, I turned off the climate control. If you have a rear-wheel drive sports car and you're thinking about getting the snow tires with the studs, the sound really isn't that bad. And it might come as a surprise to a lot of you, but just think about it. You know, if it's like snowy and icy, it's really not going to be that loud. Pavement, just a little bit more than the Pilot Super Sports. Really not that bad, and not as bad as I expected. So next we're going to talk about whether or not it's worth it for your wheel-wheel drive sports car in winter. So let's go do that. All right, so you're probably wondering whether or not these tires are worth it for this car or any other car if you need studded tires or winter tires. Now, let me tell you, if you can get it for the price, for 1,300 bucks, I'd highly recommend it. Only if you have a lot of snow or if you have ice and big snowstorms, because one, the performance on these tires when it is warm out kind of suck. It feels really mushy. And also when it's straight up pavement and no snow or ice, or if it's cement or concrete, it really sucks because the studs kind of tear up the road. So, and that's when they get the noisiest. So I would highly recommend it only if you get a lot of snow or ice. If you do want to drive this car on a daily basis and you have like a rear-wheel drive, you have a C63s, but you don't get that much snow, I would just get regular snow tires. I'll put a link to the Michelins that I bought last year that worked really well. They were studless and they were perfect for winter and for colder climates, because remember, Pilot Super Sports don't work well under 40 or 50 degrees, I think is the minimum temperature for those tires, and you do not want to be on those tires in the snow because you will wreck and you will probably crash and you'll probably die. Make sure if you get a lot of snow, if you got a lot of ice, I highly recommend these tires because you saw the stopping is great, the womp is great. It's a good tire for this kind of conditions. But if you don't have these kind of conditions, go for a regular snow tire. So everyone, this concludes the video. We went over the pricing, the fitment, how it performs on stopping and going fast on the AMG Womp, trademark of yo boy Bacali. We also went over the sound level, whether or not you can hear it inside. And also we went over whether or not you need studded tires on your C63s or any RWD car. So this concludes the video. All right guys, make sure you like the video, you subscribe, and you also hit the bell, ring the bell. Make sure you have notifications on for the next videos coming to the channel. Also leave a comment below whether or not you like this video, you didn't like this video, I should quit YouTube. Just comment something, give me feedback because I want to grow this channel and do content that you guys want to see. So that's it for me. It's your boy Bacali, and I'll see you guys soon.